physicality, a lot of that stuff happened. Sorry that something just popped up.
You're good. You're good, coach.
Sorry about that. Um, but I was saying we did training camp practices last week, and then now we're moving into a game week, but we still need to keep the physicality. So it's balancing that out. So we'll have some periods where it's offense versus defense, good on good, and then we'll also have some periods where we're working scout team stuff and we're doing Northwestern specific. But the speed at which we do things is going to be very important. We have to play fast. And then once we do the scout team stuff, that speed cannot slow down. That's the balance that we're trying to figure out. And that's how game weeks kind of typically will always be. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's practice is really going to matter for how we set how we're going to play for on Saturday. So it's an important week to figure out all the little details of everything that we're doing.
Okay, we'll move on to Ben Bulch from the LA Times.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
There was a report that you guys went bowling last week. Is that accurate? Did you guys go bowling? And if so, whose thought was that? What was the thinking and how'd it go?
A little team activity, team bonding. We went bowling, so to get in a fun atmosphere and still be competing. That was the whole thought behind that thing. And I also wanted to get out of the building, to be honest, even for me and the coach's sake. We've been locked in, just working and grinding and all that stuff. So we needed to get away and just kind of take a deep breath and compete in a different way. So I enjoyed watching the guys have a little bit of fun, having them try to get the highest score, and then we ate dinner in there also. So it was all good. It was a good chance to get away and take a deep breath.
Was that in lieu of practice or was that in addition to? And whose idea was it?
It was an off day. It was an off day thing. Kind of just ultimately it was my decision, but we kind of talked as a staff and thought that would be good. We want to do something indoors, so we weren't outdoors. You have all kinds of ideas like movies came up and the big arcade room, things like that. So we just had ideas and then we brainstormed and we figured out bowling would be great.
Thanks, coach. We'll move on to Tracy McDonald from UCLA on three.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time. I was just wondering, now that you've had some time to kind of, assess the groups, position groups, have there been any talks of any types of shakeups as far as, potential starters or just, getting different guys in there? I know you probably don't want to go into too many player specifics as far as your game plan, but I was just wondering if those have, kind of been talked about among the coaches.
Yeah, and kind of alluded to it, but Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday's practices are going to be huge on that front. I'm a type of guy, I'm not so much a who starts the game. It's going to be more who's playing throughout the game. So how much we rotate and who's getting in there and all that type of stuff is where the deep discussions will happen. Um, like I said, we were training camp last week. That was to see who can help us. Like we wanted to go deep into the roster and see anybody out there that can help us. And then as we get into this game week, we're going to try to focus on getting those guys opportunities and see if they can handle it when we're doing stuff offense versus defense and when we're doing the Northwestern specific stuff. So that's still a work in progress, but hopefully we have good solid rotations where we can get a lot of guys involved.
Next up is going to be Dave Woods from Bruin Report Online.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was wondering about you talked about it last week and then trying to figure things out. What is going to be the defensive coaching structure for this weekend? And I saw the report about Kevin Coyle. If you can share some insight about that as well.
Yeah, so I'll go with Coach Coyle. So Coach Coyle, he actually coached me when I was in school. So we're going all the way back to the 90s with that relationship. And then he's been with Syracuse. He actually just coached the game against Clemson on Saturday. And he is around today, first day being around. He is kind of the godfather to me for football. Did a lot of teaching me the game. It's where I originally first started learning how to play sound, good defense. So to have the opportunity to get him here is major. But right now he's here. That process is still going and evolving. I mean, it's so fresh. So just to get him here and help us out and just look at things and things like that will be major in my eyes. As far as the staff, just like the players, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be huge for us all. I like where we're at, staff wise. I'm talking. We've actually simulated some calling games, just watching football and hey, you call it this time and I'll call it or somebody else calls it. We are just collaboratively getting this thing taken care of. And I like where we're at, but there's not an announcement to say, hey, this is the play call or any of that stuff. We're going to still go through the process on the next few days of practice, and then we'll go from there.
Back to Ben Royer with the Daily News.
Coach, you talked about the bowling and trying to get some competitive atmosphere going within the team. Can you kind of talk about trying to build that positivity? It's not easy to go from an 0-3 start and try and jump. Even a week off can kind of mellow things out. So, can you talk about trying to build positivity within this team?
Definitely. I think football is all about energy and passion. As long as you can find ways to have energy and passion and compete, I think you give yourselves a chance. To be honest with you, I'm a person that once the game starts, your record and all that, where you're playing, all that stuff, it goes out the way. How many people are in the stands, all that stuff goes out the way. It's about competing and having passion about what you're doing. Everybody has a number out there, but you also have a last name on the back of your jersey. So that last name needs to matter, and you need to represent it in a positive way. And that's what this is all is going to come down to. I don't care what we're doing, whether we're bowling, we're playing football, whatever, compete to win. And that's where we're trying to build that atmosphere.
Are there any guys that have kind of stepped up within that locker room of maybe trying to build that positive energy?
And I preach so much of just Bruins getting better, so I don't want to individualize anything, but I will say this, the team, I like the juice that they're bringing to the practice field. I like the contact that we played with all last week in practice. Just hoping and praying it continues and we put out a good product on Saturday.
Ben Bolch.
We're coming up again, or not again, but on the 4 game cutoff for red shirting. What have been your discussions with the guys? I mean, obviously a season like this is pretty unusual, and how important is it to get a win in Northwestern to, maybe have guys stick with it instead of saying, hey, I'm just going to redshirt the rest of the season?
Yeah, and the fourth, we'll be in our fourth game, so everybody's pretty much can play without having to deal with that or worry about that. I think the discussions might come up a little bit more after the game, but to me, it's always good to win for everything. Just morale in every single area that you're in. You deal with that as it comes, but right now the guys have been attacking, and everybody seems they want to play and eager to do that. So we'll take it day by day. As you know, it's a fluid situation; it could change at any time. But I like where we're at, and we're just going to keep on building to try to give us the best chance to win on Saturday.
And one quick follow-up, is the roster still intact and the staff intact from where we were when we last saw you?
Yeah, there's no updates on that. Yeah, yeah. Every day, everybody's checked in, and everybody's been here, so it's been going good.
Thank you.
Dave Woods.
Quick follow-up on the kind of defensive structure. If you did see, reasons to change, is it real? I guess the question is it realistic to even change things drastically schematically at this point in the season? Is that kind of thing you'd have to wait till an off season to actually change anything structurally?
I think to moving forward, we'll have to game plan for each opponent because we're going to play some different styles of offenses, and we can't just carry over what we're doing against one team into another. So we'll have to tweak it to match what we're going against and defend it. Like, a lot of people kind of do the same stuff, on the base downs, but third downs get where it gets really tricky. So you're going to need to tweak and change things. And with all the analytics and the numbers, everybody kind of can figure out what you're doing. So you're going to need to give a little disguise here or there, tweak your stuff a little bit here and there, do something different or you're just going to get ate up. So that's where we're going to have to really put our heads together and figure out how we're going to tweak things and not be too complicated.
All right, and that's going to be all the time we have for today. Thank you for taking the time, Coach.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.